Hey everyone, it's Palette Picks here. So this video is going to be a bit more of an organic type style video where it's not so highly edited. But I just wanted to show off my collection of Pokemon cards just because it's been roughly 1 month of me actually starting collecting cards. And so what I found on YouTube is that there's a lot of people who do some pretty crazy challenges when it comes to collecting cards, like completing an entire set within 3 hours. I mean, that's just almost godlike. That's so insane to me, where it's fun to watch, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I feel like collecting cards over a long period of time, very similar to like how when we used to do it when we were kids. That's how it was meant to be, and that's kind of how I'm trying to do it right now, even though years later. But yeah, in this video, I'm just going to show you my Pokemon card collection that I've been able to gather within about a 1 month time frame right now. And so we'll start with the first binder. So this one here is dedicated to Surging Spark. So there's 3 sets that I'm collecting. And then the 4th set that I'm collecting is actually trying to collect all 1025 Pokemon. So I'll show you that binder towards the end. But let's start with the Surging Sparks collection first. And so my binders, I really like the 16 card sleeve binders just because when you turn the page, but let's actually get a look at the cards first. We have Execute, Executor, Spupa right here. But when you open a binder that's like 4x4 or 4x3, I should say, it just looks, let me get my camera off here. Let me zoom out just a tad bit. It just looks super nice. Okay, like imagine all these cards filled out. It's just gonna look super nice once this is all filled out. But here on the top, we have Morlo, Capsicid. Relor actually, I think he actually rolls his poop, I believe, like collect and roll out. There's like little descriptions at the bottom of each card if you didn't know. So Wu-Chin is actually becoming one of my favorite Pokemon just because it looks really cool. And plus, green is my favorite color. There we have Vulpix, one of the OGs, Tauros. It looks like I just learned this. There's different types of Pokemon now. Like they're still considered Tauros, but there's Galarian legendaries and there's a Lohan Dugtrio, which I'll show you. A really nice, simple artwork. I feel like this is going to be one of the chase cards in the upcoming new set, Journey Together, possibly. But yeah, how I have set my cards up is I am including holo rares within the collection. This page here is completely blank. But here we have Victini, Pansear. I'm including holo rares within my collection. And so you'll see doubles like here. Okay, so this is a Fukoko non-holo, and then this right here is the reverse holo. We have Centiskorch, Sizzlipede, Oricorio, okay? I know that there's an illustration rare of this one here that I want. I'm still trying to get it once I start collecting that set. Now, Skeledirge to me looks really cool. This is one of the first holos I ever pulled. And then Crocolore, I actually have a SIR. I think it's called an SIR, which I'll show you later on in the video. And then Ceruledge has definitely become one of my favorite Pokemon just because it's one of the first illustration rares that I pulled. I think out of but it was either Surging Sparks or Twilight Masquerade. But here we have Charcadet and a Ceruledge EX. Let me actually show you this card. So this is a Ceruledge EX card. Super cool. So I actually bought this off a single card at the local card shop. I think it was around like $4, I believe. But yeah, definitely want to becoming my favorite Pokemon. I might even start a binder just collecting Ceruledge if there's enough. Then we have Celio. Fun Pokemon right there. Melodic seems to be a very popular Pokemon lately, and this is one of the first EX cards I actually pulled as well, but look at that. Super nice. I love how it goes like off the frame as well. Let's see what we got on the next page. So this one I have an SAR, which I'll show you. This one right here, the Shellos, one of the first cards I ever pulled as well. Quaxwell to me, I feel like it's like one of the most boring Pokemon. I think it's a starter or like one of the first. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it might be a starter. And then we have Chenpao. So this is actually pretty dark in history, in which if you read the tiny description there, it says, it's the hatred of those who perished by the sword long ago has clad itself in snow and become a Pokemon. So basically the slaying of people led to Chenpao. But still a really neat card though. Then we have Sea Titan, Iron Bundle. So I was learning about these Pokemon here where they're like alternate reality versions of Pokemon which we've seen before. So this is Iron Bundle. And it was funny because I was looking at these cards and I'm like, I forgot what the original Pokemon's name was. But I was like, it looks really familiar. And then I started seeing more of them and then I started learning about them. Like, oh, okay, there's future versions and ancient versions of these Pokemon. Just recently, I found out that Magneton now has a new evolution form, which I don't have yet. There we have Rotom, Zebstrika. Stunfisk is such a boring Pokemon, but I also have the SIR for him, which I'll show you. Wattrel I really like. And then we have the Kilowattrel. And then Miraidon. Let me actually show you this one here. Miraidon, another future Pokemon. So this is just the original card. I wish it kind of came off screen. That would have been really sick. And then sometimes I label like singles cards here, just to kind of help me keep track of like where things are supposed to be going. And then here we just have an empty page of like smaller psychic Pokemon, I guess. I'm not sure if they did this on purpose, but we have Togepi, Meryl, Smoochum, Latios right here. Such cool artwork. I really like how Pokemon definitely gives the credits to the illustrator down here on the left, in case you didn't know that. And we have Psyglyph, Yamask, Azoth, Uxie. Really nice cards. I think those are like the mythical Pokemon of like the lake or something. And then next we have Deedeen, which seems to be like a Pikachu spinoff. Xerneas. Let's actually look at the Xerneas card. So Xerneas is really nice. Very nice artwork. I must admit, I do wish I had the reverse holo or holo version of that one there. This card right here, so is Spethra. I think it's such a interesting Pokemon. Okay, so it emits psychic powers from the gaps between its multicolored frills and sprints at speeds greater than 120 miles per hour. So I thought that was such a cool description of this guy here, just because he looks pretty slow, but this is a Spethra. Really nice card. And then this one here I got for like 30 cents at the singles card shop. So Palossand EX. Very nice card. All right, let's move on to the next page. And then Fluttermane. I'm not sure what the original version of that, but that's an ancient version there. And then Primeape, I just found out, is able to evolve into Annihilape right there. And there's a Paldean Tauros again. We have Fanfi and Donphan over here. Then we have Trapinch. So Gastrodon to me reminds me of, where's that water Pokemon? I gotta read more about them just because. Yeah, it reminds me of Shellos for some reason. So Shellos. And then we have Gastrodon. Very similar, right? Let me know in the comments if you agree. And then we have Excadrill. These four right here are super new to me. I've never seen them before, nor have I ever caught them in game. I'm not even sure which. I assume they're from Scarlet and Violet generation. But the Glimmet Pokemon looks extremely interesting just because there's Glimora. I don't even know what it is, right? But it's interesting though that it's a ground type Pokemon. And the Koraidon, I think that the bike legendaries are, it's kind of weird in my opinion. And this is the Koraidon. And then I have the non-holo Koraidon over there. Then we have Dino. I always appreciate like dinosaur Pokemon and such. And then I cannot even say this name here. So Grafaiai, what is that even? I have no idea what that is. But if we read the description, it's paints its own individual pattern and it will paint that same pattern over and over again throughout its life. So that's kind of sad, right? So if you paint one thing, if you paint an egg, I guess you're stuck painting an egg forever. Now, when I saw this one here, Alola and Doug Trio, I was like, wow, they're basically reusing older Pokemon. So this was new to me. But look at that hair though, right? Kind of like Surfer Dude like. Then we have the Alolan Diglett, Doug Trio. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Doug Trio is only 2 evolution forms, right? Or only 2 of them, like this Diglett and then Doug Trio, and that's it. The Duraludon is an interesting Pokemon to me. I feel like it's like a steel type dragon that looks like a building, I guess. But I feel like there's cooler versions of this card, at least from what I've seen on TCG Player, but that's just the regular version. Then we have Bronzong. Oh, Iron Crown is super cool. Really like this card. Very nice card indeed. Oh, and then we have the Executor EX. So I did buy from the shop a bunch of EX cards just because they were super cheap, like 50 cents each. But I know these are a bit harder to pull, so like 50 cents, why not, right? Plus, he looks super cool. Next, moving on to I don't know what to call this type. This is new to me. But it does have Dialga, Palkia, Turtonator, which I think are legendaries. Then we have Flapple. Flapple is such an interesting Pokemon. It's like a dragon who eats an apple, I guess. Oh, and then Tatsugiri is super cool. I really like how they introduced Tatsugiri, which to me is such a simple but cool Pokemon. And then Eternatus. So I did play Sword and Shield. Eternatus, when I pulled this one, I was super excited, but look at that card. I think the illustration looks super sick. It's like very abstract to me. 141 out of 191. Really nice card. I'm hoping I can get like some sort. I don't even know if an SIR of Eternatus even exists, but I'm hoping I can get one if there is. And then we have some normal Pokemon here. So Slakoth, Eevee, the OG Snorlax right over there. And then we have Zangoose, Kecleon, Swablu. So this right here is just placed there to help me keep track. Like there's a single card that's supposed to be there. Rufflet, both the Hollow and Reverse Hollow. Heliolisk is pretty cool. I'm surprised like that's its final evolution form, I guess. But I have a cool SAR I'll show you guys about this one. Oranguru, then we have the Helioptile, and the Tandemaus. So I think, okay, so look at these three cards here. So we have the Cyclizar EX, the Flamingo EX, and the Terrapagos. But these, in person, you guys have to see it in person. It looks super cool. Like I mentioned, the EX cards, I love how they fall off of frame, like it's 3D-like. Super cool. And Terrapagos, there's an SAR, which I do not have yet, but I hopefully plan on getting. Now, for the trainer cards, I really don't care for trainer cards as much unless it's the SIR, so I'll just scan through these. And then in order to separate the 191 cards, the first 191 cards, I actually reused the sleeves that came with my ETB, just trying to make use of it, right? So this is like the segregator page to let me know that, okay, it's time for the special illustration rares. So this is what I have here as far as the special illustration rares. So I'll pull each of them out one by one. So this right here is the cast form. I was super excited when I pulled this card just because I've never even heard of cast form. But look at that card. Super cool. This one here. So this is Larvesta. It just looks like, reminds me of my dog who always sleeps all the time. Larvesta. But I got this, I believe, for around like $1 as a single card. And this card here I pulled. I think this was like my highest value card that I've ever pulled. And so this is Cyrilage. But what a nice card, though. This is why it's becoming my favorite Pokemon, just because those purple blades. But super neat card. Oh, wait. And then I got a Bruxish. So I did grab a few singles, quite a few singles, just because these ones here, I feel like they're hard to pull, but look at the artwork on this card, though. Even though Bruxish is probably like a very not popular Pokemon, it looks super nice. And then we have the Stunfisk, who's just basically buried in sand. But I love the illustration of this, though, still. I think SIRs for Pokemon have definitely made it worthwhile for collectors, for sure. I'm excited to see what things Pokemon comes up with in order to take a step above SIRs. But check out this, okay? So I don't have the Latias, but I do have the Latios and the Misprit. But wow, such a cool card duo. I mean, I do, some people say Misprit's not supposed to be part of it, and obviously it's supposed to be the Latios and Latias here, but I don't have that, so this is going to do the trick for me. And still, I'm very, very happy with that. Now, the Alolan Dugtrio, I didn't pull this one here. I actually purchased it from the shop as a single, and let me tell you now that shopping for singles is like next level. It's so smart. It's so smart to do. But this is the Alolan Dugtrio I got, and I believe that's it. Oh, I still have my Flygon, so I was able to pull this one here too. So Flygon EX, very, very cool card. And that right there is Surging Spark. So let's move on to my next collection, which is Twilight Masquerade. And then I'll show you my Paldea Evolved binder, or my Paldea Evolved cards. I haven't started the binder yet just because I don't have the player's guide. So I'll probably be grabbing that sometime next month in March. But this is my Twilight Masquerade collection. So we're starting off with Tangela. We already have the pincers completed, Spinrack, Ariados, the Sun. So let me tell you why I sleeved this reverse hollow Sunkern again. I had no idea what I was doing back then. And so the very first pack I pulled, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. I got this card and I sleeved it just because it was reverse hollow. That was me not knowing that reverse hollows are a bit more common now. And so I sleeved this and I still keep it sleeved. And this is probably going to get a plaque eventually once I get another reverse hollow as the first card that I pulled in my modern Pokemon collecting era, right? So Sunflora, Heracross, Illumise, Volbeat, you have a Leafy on here. I haven't started Prismatic Evolutions yet, nor do I plan to, just because the set itself doesn't really interest me. Eevee itself also does not interest me. But here we have Thwackey. The Rillaboom, I was able to pull both of these within the same sitting, which is pretty cool. So that finished off the non-hollow and the reverse hollow. Then we have Applin. I have to read about the story regarding Applin just because it sounds like a really interesting Pokemon. And it was kind of confusing for me when I saw Applin and Diplin. I was like, wait, are they pretty similar? And then we have Iron Leaves, future version. Really nice card. And then we have Poltergeist, who sounds like a really interesting Pokemon. And then I got the EX version. I think I pulled this card. I don't remember. I either pulled this card or bought it as a single for like a couple cents. Sinistcha EX. And then moving on to the fire types. We have Chemchar, Monferno, my Cargo EX. I believe I pulled this card. I think I did pull this card, but EX going off the frame, super cool. I still appreciate illustration rares more though, but I still appreciate EXs. Then we have Infernape right over there, the holo. I really like the Darumaka artwork. I think it's super cool. Jaruminaton, then Lampet, and the OG Poliwags, Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath. I feel like this should be a holo, but they made it as like an uncommon card, unfortunately. Then we have Goldeen, so all these are going to be OG cards. We have Seaking, still going with the OGs. I think this is Generation 2, Crawdent. We have the Jinxes. Then Melodic. Melodic always gets like a nice, graceful artwork, so if we actually take a look at it, it always gets a nice artwork in my opinion. We have the Snorunt, Frostlass holo, super nice. I feel like the artwork could be better, but still a nice holographic card. I still really appreciate the holographic cards. Then we have Glaceon over there. Then Phione. I wonder what this one involves into. And then we have Frogadier. And then we have Cramorant. Palafin, Finizen. Oh, the Palafin EX. So I pulled this card twice, but I thought it was such a cool card. Again, coming off the, look at that streak of wave on the side right there. Super cool. They have Iron Bundle again and Walking Wake. So Walking Wake was the confirmation like, okay, I think these are renamed Pokemon. And that's when I looked it up and finally learned about ancient and future Pokemon. So Iron Bundle, Walking Wake. So Suicide is actually the Pokemon I chose or captured back when I used to play, I think it was like Silver, Pokemon Silver. Here we have the OG Zapdos. I think they did a really good job with the artwork on this card, without a doubt. Zapdos. These Pokemon here, I don't really know too much, but they just look like more mice to me. Bellibolt is pretty cool. I have an IR version of him. Heliolisk again. Pikachu ripoff. Morpeko. I believe Morpeko is part of Team Rocket. Then we have the Watrills. And then OG Clefairies. And then I love this. Why is this not a holo version? Like, this is such a cool card. Abra, just sitting in the grass, like chilling. Dang, that should be, there's got to be like an SIR of Abra. I don't know, maybe there is. So let me know if there is. Then we have Girafarig, Chimiko, a bunch of like interesting Pokemon just because they're psychic, Swirlix. Flower Pokemons are psychic, and then we have food Pokemon which are psychic. Slurpuff, yep, it's food. And Enamorus, this is one of the first holos that I pulled, and I did sleeve it instantly. But Enamorus, I don't think she's a legendary. I don't know. I gotta look that up. Well, one of the first holos I pulled, I remember, again, you can watch my videos of me pulling that one. Pheasantipity, I do know for sure is a legendary, just because I'm creating a video on it. Then we have Sandshrew, Growlithe. So I was very surprised when Growlithe, they labeled him as like a ground type, because Arcanine and Growlithe to me, those were like hardcore fire Pokemon. But they did my Growlithe guy dirty though. Like they covered his eyes and made him a ground type. He should be a fire type. That's what I think about when I think about Growlithe. And then we have Conkeldurr, Probopass with the nose. Greninja EX, so this card here. I pulled this one, super happy. I mean, look at that. This is such a cool, all the Greninja cards that I pulled look so cool. And then we have Glimmet again. So remember how in the Surging Sparks binder, I was showing you like, these cards look pretty interesting. So there it is again. I love the Okidoki Pokemon. So out of the trio of the legendary, if you know what I mean, Okidoki is my favorite. I think it looks so cool. So the holo version, the reverse holo version, such a cool card. I wish I had better SIRs. I think in Shrouded Fables it might. But I probably won't be starting Shrouded Fables for a while though. I love the Venipede line. So Venipede, Whirlipede, Scolipede. Brute Bonnet is super cool. I don't know who the OG version of this Pokemon is or what he's the ancient version of, but I thought like him holding a Pokeball shield is like, that's super cool. And then we got Aaron on the bottom. I pull this guy a lot. And then we have Aggron. I guess there's supposed to be like a middle version somewhere here between them. Heatran, Varoom, Engine Pokemon. Then we have Reverum, Applin again, Diplin again. Then we have Draculac, so the pseudo legendary Pokemon, I believe. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. We have Dreepy over there. And Tatsugiri again. I love the artwork for Tatsugiri. Farfetch, Chansey, and then we have Snorlax, Apom. Apom I remember from so long ago. Ducklet. What else we got here? So we have the Ursaluna EX card. So again, EX is going off screen. Super cool. Then we got some bunch of trainer cards here, so I'll just flip through these. And then once again, signifying that the SIRs are going to start, I reuse the sleeves here. And then now, let's take a look at all the illustration rares. So this one here, I believe I bought. I forgot how much though, but Sunflora. I thought this was such a cool card. I love how the setting of the artwork starts here, and this is a window. Such a cool illustration rare card. And then here, I couldn't decide if like this was a Japanese card perhaps when I first saw it. But it's supposed to be in English though. I'm not sure what that writing is supposed to be up there or what it even means, but Diplondo. And then we got Tarkol. So this card is a bit dark to me, and I feel like he's too far away. But it does give like a story, right? Where the guy with Tarkol, I feel like they could have done a better job at this. This is kind of like more water painting coloring to me. Then we have Frostlass. This was a cool card. Kind of gives me like Demon Slayer vibes for some reason. And then we got the Cramorant. So I actually have this twice because I pulled it and then I also bought it. So I think I bought it for like $1 or $2. But Cramorant just looks confused. Looks super confused. And then we got the Heliolisk. So this one I bought. I love this card. It just like speaks to Pokemon's like attitude and demeanor. Super cool. I love that card. I feel like these three cards, I mean, if I put them all side by side, it's just like a nice way to show them in their natural habitat, like confused in the greenery and then in the water. It's a nice, like, I wonder what the fourth card here is, because in my opinion, these three cards like match super well. If not these three, at least these two, just showing Pokemon in their natural habitat. But this is Wattrel though, fishing for fish. And then this is the first illustration rare card that I ever pulled, okay? So this was, I thought it was Aaron, but it's actually Lairon, the first illustration card that I pulled ever. So I remember this card for quite some time. And then we have Applin over there. So a bunch of, basically just an apple tree. He's everywhere. And then the Sinistcha EX, I believe I pulled this card. So that's the end of the illustration rare. So Sinistcha EX, just a purple version. I think they could have done better in that one. Now, I really like the design of these types of cards. I don't know what you call it, but it's like that white background and kind of like geometric shape around. But this is Macargo EX. And then let me show you what's next after that. So these three here, this is what I mean. I don't know what you call this version as far as the artwork goes, but these are super, super cool. I have the Ogerpon, the Greninja, and the Ogerpon, or Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. And over here, I have the Dragapult EX. But I can't, I'm hoping that this entire page gets filled with this type of artwork though. Down here, I have the Ogerpon EX Hearthflame Mask. And then towards the back here by his Lonely himself is the gold Ursaluna card. So I did buy this from the shop though, just because I don't have any gold cards. But that is it for Twilight Masquerade. Now let me show you what I've got as far as my Paldea Evolved cards go. So for Paldea Evolved, I got the Grusha trainer. I've got the Quaquaval EX. I've got the Tinkatink, so I did pull this card. This was a super cool card to pull. I gotta change the sleeve on it though, but Tinkatink, I'm still using the Twilight Masquerade sleeves that I initially first got. And then I got the Slowking EX. Very nice card. So this here I bought, okay? So this is the Rapska Special Illustration Rare. I don't know what the difference is between Illustration Rare and Special Illustration Rare. I have to look up on that. But still, really neat card though. And then I've got the belly, oh wait, this is the Crackalore. So Crackalore, Illustration Rare for Paldea Evolved. I gotta get these bindered up, but I'm still waiting, for, like I said, for my ETB. Just because I need the player's guide to really help me out when it comes to organizing these cards. But Bellybolt EX, such a neat card. So these cards are a little bent, but I don't mind. They're still in really good condition. I feel like I can kind of bend it back a bit, hopefully. Probably won't. But I don't plan on selling them though. Now down to the last two SARs. Okay, so Wuchen is such a cool Pokemon. I love this artwork here. So such a nice card. I mean, let me take it out of the sleeve actually. So I actually got these top sleeves for free, which is nice. I don't own any. I've never bought a top sleeve before. Man, this is a Wuchen card though. Super nice. And then with Wu-Chan, let me show you the last card. So now we have the Chi-Yu. So the Chi-Yu is another, this is probably like my second most expensive card. Depending. Haven't checked the market for it yet. But look at this super cool artwork, guys. Chi-Yu EX. It's funny they call it Chi-Yu an EX because I feel like he's a small fish and still remains small even when he's an EX. But look at that. I can't wait to go ahead and actually sleeve these two cards. Not sleeve, but put them in a binder. At least these, the Wu-Chan Chi-Yu EX. So these are all the SRRs that I have in regards to Paldea Evolved. Now, for the last part of the video, I haven't done this just yet, but here I have this giant binder. And so what I'll be doing is that just because I have so many cards, and I really don't want these cards to go to waste. Like, for example, if I have 2 Ralphskas, yeah, I can trade it, yeah, I can sell it. But I think it'd be a really cool challenge just because I have a binder that can hold 1,024 cards. And I'll try to collect practically every single card or every single Pokemon, at least one version of it in this binder, starting with the energy cards. Just kidding. So Pokemon number 1, I think is like Abra or something, or I'll go according to the Pokédex. I'll find like a Pokédex or something and basically just getting one version of every Pokemon. And every time I find a better version, in my opinion, than it, like maybe it's a rarer version or a reverse hollow version of that, I'll actually replace it in the binder. Now, the problem is that there's 1,025 Pokemon, and this binder holds 1,024 cards. So I guess the 25th card might just go over here. Not sure just yet. Either that or buy a new binder. But I think it's a really cool challenge if you guys want to start collecting that way as well, where I'm sure you have leftover cards. Maybe you want to start a collection that collects one of every Pokemon and put that into a separate binder, just because that would probably be really cool. But that's essentially it, guys. So if you stuck around for this long, do subscribe to the channel. And if you want to follow along with me in my journey into collecting Pokemon cards, I try to do it in a fun way. It's not those complete a set in like 3 hours type challenges. It's going to be completing a set for sure. But even so, it's going to be completing a set over a long period of time and just having fun with it. But if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'll leave a link to the binders just in case you guys want binders like this one down below in the description as well. But thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.